unsuspecting things that could be making you lose your hair right now. A lot of you have been requesting this hair loss video in the comments, but did you know that there are a number of everyday things that people do or do not do that could be straight up making you bald? What exactly is alopecia, and does what I eat or your hormones really affect one's hair loss? How about wearing hats? Or is it all about bad genes? We'll be discussing that plus other unsuspecting things that you didn't realize could be destroying your luscious locks. Number 1, genetics. You may have heard it called male or female pattern baldness before, or maybe even androgenic alopecia. Hereditary pattern baldness is the most common cause of hair loss. In some people, you can recognize it pretty quickly because hair is lost in a well-defined pattern beginning above the temples, and over time, the hairline then recedes to form sort of an M shape. Others may notice a widening of your part or thinning on the crown of your head. This natural occurrence and condition is caused by some combo of genetics plus hormone levels called androgens can come into play here as well. Number 2, medications and other drugs. Certain ingredients within the medications could be toxic to your hair follicles or cells that are responsible for hair growth. When these follicles become damaged, the normal hair growth cycle is disrupted, leading to hair loss. So, which medications are commonly linked to hair loss? Here are just a few. Blood thinners like warfarin, antidepressants like Prozac or Zoloft, beta blockers, cholesterol lowering medications, acne fighting scripts like Accutane, and even immune suppressing drugs like those used to treat autoimmune conditions like lupus and rheumatoid arthritis, as well as the more obvious ones like chemotherapy drugs, can all cause hair loss. If you're concerned that a drug you're taking may be making you lose your hair, ask your doctor or pharmacist for a complete list of potential side effects of your medication. Or ask your physician if you could possibly reduce your dose or switch your medication for something that has less impact on your hairline. Number 3, infections. Viral, fungal, bacterial, no matter the type of infection, they all have the potential of wreaking havoc on your hairline. Ringworm, for example, is a fungal infection that is especially common in children and athletes. Ringworm of the scalp, called TINEA capitis, can cause your head to become scaly and your hair to fall out, usually in patches, but luckily this fungal infection is easily treated with antifungal medications, which will also stop the loss of hair. Another one I see a lot in the emergency department, COVID and other types of viral infections like a cold or the common flu, causing possible hair loss. Anytime you experience a fever or illness like this, it could possibly affect your hair and thin it out more than normal over the next 6 to 9 months after recovering. Number 4, wearing hats or beanies. Although it's a bit unlikely to be the main cause of a person to go bald, hats can speed up the balding process, especially if it's already happening or if they are predisposed genetically. When you put on a hat or take a hat off repeatedly, that could have some serious consequences to the hairs on your head. If the hat doesn't fit your head properly, you could be pulling out hairs on your head that are already loosely attached. If a hat is too tight, it could also cut off air and blood supply to your hair follicles, making an already bad hair loss situation even worse. Maybe don't wear it every day. Give your scalp a little time to breathe, that way you don't cut off all of the blood supply to your hair follicles. And hats aren't the only culprit. This goes for wearing different tight hairstyles as well. Think of someone who may wear a tight ponytail or maybe cornrows or long hair extensions. Over time, certain hair habits could put you at a higher risk for developing traction alopecia. This type of hair loss occurs when your hair follicles are pulled too tight for extended periods of time. In the same realm of hairstyling, extreme vigorous shampooing or blow drying too frequently or repeatedly using heated styling tools or just washing your hair with too hot of water can lead to putting too much stress and tension on your hair follicles, as well as causing them to break off, falling out, or being pulled out over time. Number 5, diet. Poor nutrition, an unbalanced diet, restricted fat diets, protein deficiencies, too little iron, too much vitamin A, for instance. All of these examples can most certainly result in your hair thinning, hair loss, or even baldness. If you want the best possible chance for good hair, make sure you're getting a good, well-balanced diet. Number 6, pregnancy and birth control. They say pregnant people get that pregnancy glow? That's because pregnant individuals experience higher levels of circulating hormones in their bodies, estrogen and androgen, for example. These hormones can prolong the hair growth phase, resulting in less shedding of hair and thicker, healthier hair overall. After a pregnancy, those same hormone levels can suddenly drop off in the body, which can cause hair thinning and hair loss. The same could go for discontinuing oral contraceptives as well. Immediately after stopping birth control, it is common for one to experience more than normal hair loss or hair falling out. This sort of hormonal stress or imbalance of coming off the pill or post-pregnancy hair loss is called telogen effluvium and could last for months or even years afterward. The good news is that this kind of hair loss is usually temporary or reversible, meaning the hair typically grows back once the hormones in the body go back to normal levels. Number 7, stress. Anything that can cause serious physical stress on your body absolutely has the potential to disrupt the natural cycle of your hair growth. Losing big clumps of hair, more strands of your hair coming out than normal, you may want to evaluate the stress levels in your life then. Talk to your doctor or some sort of other mental health professional. It's truly important to manage these stress levels because it could have major implications on your health in ways that are far beyond your hairline. Number 8, hormones and thyroid problems. Your thyroid is a small little endocrine gland situated at the base of the front of your neck. Hormones produced by your thyroid can have enormous impact on your health and affect many different processes in your body. Whether one has an underactive thyroid, a medical condition called hypothyroidism, or an overactive thyroid, aka hyperthyroidism, both situations can cause a hormonal imbalance. Very broadly speaking, hormones regulate nearly every function in our body, including, but not limited to, hair growth. Symptoms may show up in many different ways: anxiousness, trouble sleeping, sensitivity to heat or cold, as well as on your scalp. Maybe you notice all around thinning at first, but then it could progress into patches of hair missing. Definitely talk to your doctor if your normal hairs don't seem to be replenishing themselves, or if you're experiencing any uniform hair loss. Number 9, autoimmune diseases. Autoimmune diseases affect anywhere between 14 and 23 million Americans. In these types of conditions, one's immune system mistakenly attacks its own body, and a whole array of side effects or conditions can occur, one of them being hair loss. In fact, one of the most common reasons behind hair loss, especially when it happens to people under the age of 50, is having some sort of underlying autoimmune disease. Lupus, diabetes, Crohn's disease, inflammatory bowel disease, psoriasis. The most common associated autoimmune conditions or byproducts with hair loss: alopecia areata. It affects around 6.5 million people in the United States and more than 145 million people worldwide. This is when cells in your immune system surround and attack your hair follicles. This attack causes the attached hair to fall out. One might notice patches at first of hair loss, but it can progress to a complete hair loss on the scalp, or alopecia totalis. If someone has even more severe case, it can evolve into hair loss on the entire body, or alopecia universalis. Sadly, there are no FDA-approved medications for alopecia, but there are some injectables and other topical applications that can help with this condition. Number 10, trichotillomania. Trichotillomania is a hair pulling disorder in the obsessive-compulsive related disorder grouping that is characterized by the repetitive pulling out of one's own hair. There are other self-grooming behaviors that can fall into this category as well, such as picking, scraping, or biting your nails, your skin, or often hair that results in damage to your body. Without treatment, this tends to be a chronic condition that may come and go throughout a lifetime. Prevention. As I said before, most baldness is caused by genetics. This type of hair loss, unfortunately, is not preventable, but other types of hair loss can be reversed or at least slowed down with different forms of treatment. You literally want to get to the root of the problem so that you can try to reverse the hair damage if possible, and to make sure that the hair loss isn't a sign of some greater underlying health conditions, deficiency, or hormonal imbalances. Remember to be gentle with your hair. Don't do things like brush it or tug on it in a way that may create tension on the follicles. And stay out of direct forms of sunlight or other sources of UV light. And definitely stop smoking if your hair loss is a concern to you. some studies show an association between smoking and baldness. If you want me to do an entire video on ways that you can help grow your hair more or slow down the hair loss process, please let me know that too in the comments below. Also, please make sure you subscribe and turn your bell notifications on. When you do that and you hit that like button, you let YouTube know that you'd like to see more videos like this one. Thank you so much for watching and stay healthy, my friends.